আসসালামু আলাইকুম সম্মানিত দর্শক, আপনারা সবাইকে স্বাগতম জানাচ্ছি আমাদের নিয়মিত কমিউনিটি ইস্যুর প্রোগ্রামে। আজকে এই বছরের শেষ দিন এবং আমাদের কমিউনিটি ইস্যুর এই বছরের জন্য শেষ প্রোগ্রাম, এবং আজকের প্রোগ্রামের আলোচনার বিষয় হলো গ্রোথ অ্যান্ড ইকোনমিক ডেভেলপমেন্ট। ইন পার্টিকুলার আমরা টাওয়ার হ্যামলেটস নিয়ে কথাবার্তা বলবো, এবং আপনারা যদি আমাদের এই প্রোগ্রামে অংশগ্রহণ করতে চান তাহলে আমাদের স্ক্রিনে একটা নম্বর আপনারা অতি সত্বরই দেখবেন। সে নম্বরটা হলো 0203-397-4740। আমি আবারও বলছি 0203-397-4740। এই নম্বরে টেলিফোন করলে আপনারা আমাদের সাথে সরাসরি কথা বলতে পারবেন। আমাদের স্টুডিওতে আজকে যে গেস্ট এসেছেন তিনিকে নতুন করে পরিচয় করার কোনো দরকার নেই, কারণ তিনি আজ অনেক দিন যাবত এই টাওয়ার হ্যামলেটসের পলিটিক্সের সাথে উনি জড়িত, এবং বেশ কয়েকবার উনি কাউন্সিলর হয়েছিলেন, এখনও বর্তমানে কাউন্সিলর আছেন। কয়েক বছর আগে উনি একবার ব্রেক নিয়েছেন। তিনি আর কেউ নয়, তিনি আমাদের কাউন্সিলর মতিনুজ্জামান। মতিন ভাই, আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম ভাই।
Thank you very much for giving up your New Year's Eve to come to my program. I appreciate you coming along. And I know this was arranged at a short notice. As I said, I'm grateful. How has it been? How's 2018 for you?
Alhamdulillah, I'll be honest with you, well, I'm delighted because I've had the pleasure of working with you as a councillor a long time ago. I think things have changed since then.
Yes.
Yes. But I mean, for me, it's kind of reflecting back on how it was like being a councillor in the 90s, and how is it like now, in the current, in a different system. But what I would say to you is that it's a pleasure and honour to be able to be elected to represent the people, and particularly je areate ami taki, where I live. I am elected there because my residents have said, yes, you've been a councillor, but you've not done anything for our area. And I felt really shattered, because you feel like you've transformed where I was a councillor before. So I'm delighted to be able to serve the people that I grew up with.
Is this your fourth term?
It's my fourth term.
But you had a break. Yeah.
Yes, I had a break. So
you had a break for 4 years.
4 years. So this is my fourth term.
So how does it feel to be back in the council?
Actually, it's the fourth term because I was a councillor for 16 years.
So it's the fifth term.
Fifth term. Oh my goodness, right. It'll make me feel old now. Yes, so it's my fifth term. So I was a 16 years councillor. So now this is my fifth term.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So
how does it feel to be back in the council?
It's absolutely an honour. As I said, I'm grateful to the people that have put their trust in me, particularly the residents in Stepney. And it's not easy once you are out of, leave the politics scene to get back. And I'm grateful for the people who've selected me, because I think without getting the selection and then getting the people to vote to have the trust in you, it's not easy. So I'm delighted, and also with getting on the council, the mayor felt with my experience that I've had, as a councillor, giving me a responsibility to help to make tangible improvement to the borough's, visual infrastructure, to help to create opportunities for people. It's also a privilege. So
good. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about
okay.
the tangible visual improvement that you're hoping to make as a lead member for growth and economic development in Tower Hamlets. First of all, just for the benefit of our viewers, can you tell us what growth and economic development is, so that we understand?
So just I think the strategy that we've kind of developed in the last 6 months is out for consultation with local businesses and community at the moment. It is the economic growth strategy for the borough, and the strategy really goes about saying what sort of changes that we would want to see in the borough, and how those changes will make economic benefit for the people who live in the borough. When I say economic benefit, it means in terms of opportunities for business so business to set up, opportunities for people who want to start up their businesses. Can't afford a huge rent, so how do you get managed workspaces at a lower rent for our small people to start? Also, looking at how do we make sure that the employment that's created are accessible by our local people. So and so ensuring that those developments and that's happening are creating employment opportunities, not just residential for people from abroad or anywhere else to just buy, but also employment opportunities so that
for local people.
For local people, so local people can get opportunities
Sure.
in those. So that's one of the things that I'm responsible, and also ensuring that the skills that the employers want and need for the growth and the requirement of the growth, that those skills are supported. So we hope to, where there is a gap in skills gap, so the question then for my department is to ensure that those skills and trainings are available where there are other people, so through our voluntary services that fund those services, plus also to make sure our own departments create opportunities for people to be skilled up. And we would do that through partnerships. So we work with the NHS, we work with the private sector in terms of Canary Wharf, our social sector, which is the housing stations, and others to create the infrastructure for that skills development to happen.
Fantastic. So what is it that you are doing to create employment opportunities? I know you said that where there's a shortfall of skills that you will provide training so that the people that have those shortages are actually given those training, and hence they can tap into the job market or the opportunities that exist locally for local people. Tower Hamlet, as we know, is a borough where the City of London, Canary Wharf is only a stone throw away, and the opportunities that exist there is not necessarily for local people. And it seems that we have blue chip companies operating from our doorsteps, but yet we are unable to tap into those jobs. So what is it that the council is doing, and what is it that you are doing, given your experience within the community, to ensure that the job market is one that is accessible to the local community?
Okay, that's a very important point, because clearly historically that was the case, but I think things have changed now, and through our community, I'm sure you know the community plan that's developed as a whole borough, there's an economic development board as part of this, 4 boards. One deals with community safety, one deals with economic growth, and that's what as a board that I chair, and that meets at the Canary Wharf boardroom, which includes all of the private sector, it includes the colleges, it includes all the job centre people. So the senior people across the NHS and stuff are part of that board.
Right, okay. And how often do you meet?
Once every 2 months.
Right, okay.
And the question is about us all working together to give. So I'm like the political lead to ensure that they are talking to each other. We're working where possible to share information, share opportunities, because sometimes it's not about really opportunities doesn't exist. Opportunities are there, some people don't know about it. And there are some opportunities I'm going to let people know that they could take part in and make sure we don't lose those. So and that's where I kind of get an overview of this. But clearly one of the things that we've done, we realized as a council that through the Somali task force, realized that there was a shortage of, like, say, Somali graduate opportunities. We had a graduate program before, so we developed a graduate program for Somali graduates, and that is something that we've commissioned ELBA, which is the East London ELBA Business Alliance, I think it's called, Business Alliance, and they are responsible for helping to create opportunities within that private sector, particularly the Canary Wharf sector, to create some opportunities.
Councillor, can I just stop you there, Mohsin bhai? I think we have a caller. Let's just take the call and we'll continue. Right. Hello, caller. Assalamu alaikum.
ওয়ালাইকুম সালাম শফিকুল আলম বানলি থেকে ভাই প্রথম নতুন বছরের সালাম দেওয়া জানাই এটিএন এর সকলকে এবং দর্শক শ্রোতারে আমি ওখান কইতাম চাই আমার এক ভাই ব্রিটেনের যে কাউন্সিলর আছেন তাই আমি সালাম দেই নতুন বছরে সালাম দেই তারা রাজনীতি করা বা আমরাও রাজনীতি করা নিজস্ব ওয়েস্টমিনিস্টার পলিসি ফলো কইরা এবার যে বাংলাদেশে আমরা ইলেকশন হইছে মেজরিটি আওয়ামী লীগ গেছে এর কারণে যে আমরা ওয়াশিংটন রে ফলো করলাম না
থ্যাংক ইউ শফিক ভাই বার্লি থেকে কল করার জন্য আনফর্চুনেটলি আমরা বাংলাদেশের পলিটিক্স নিয়ে কথাবার্তা হইতে পারতাম না আজকের আমরা আলোচনার বিষয়টা হলো গ্রোথ অ্যান্ড ইকোনমিক ডেভেলপমেন্ট ইন লন্ডন বরো অফ টাওয়ার হ্যামলেটস এবং আমাদের সাথে আছেন একজন সম্মানিত কাউন্সিলর মতিনুজ্জামান যিনি হলেন লিড মেম্বার ফর গ্রোথ অ্যান্ড ইকোনমিক ডেভেলপমেন্ট ইন টাওয়ার হ্যামলেটস এবং টাওয়ার হ্যামলেটস সম্বন্ধে যদি আপনাদের কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে বা কিছু আপনারা শেয়ার করতে চান প্লিজ আপনারা আমাদেরকে ফোন দিবেন বাংলাদেশের পলিটিক্স এগুলো নিয়ে আমরা আজকের আলোচনার বিষয় নয় ধন্যবাদ আপনারা কল করার জন্য আমরা প্রোগ্রাম দেখতে থাকা আর যদি ওই মাত্র জয়েন করিয়ে থাকুন প্লিজ কল ইন টু দ্য প্রোগ্রাম থ্যাংক ইউ
Well, I just saying, obviously, Shoaib bhai, thank you and Happy New Year to you. But I think আমরা যেটা মানে টাহামরা সহর in terms of helping to create the employment infrastructure, এটা could be replicated, মানে সব জায়গাতে replicate করা যাবে. And I know we have so many new councillors that have been elected from the Bangladesh region across the country, which is a great to see that. And I had the pleasure of meeting some of them when it was a reception recently. And I think this is what we want to see, people taking leadership role and giving the political direction. So in terms of what you're saying, in terms of what we're doing, so we are working with the private sector. We are creating projects which helps to bridge the gap for some of the graduates,
yes. And that's very important,
and pushing them through that, and that's happening. I went to launch that project at KPMG where I met them, so KPMG where they were hosting the event. But at the same time, the irony is that there are people who are working in Canary Wharf and the surrounding companies, but who lived in Tower Hamlets. The first thing they do is when they get a good job,
they move out.
Well, like you and me, we don't. but they end up getting bigger houses and move out. And I think rightly because people can't afford the house prices in our borough, and that's a shame because. But then it affects our statistics because when you look at how they were when they got the job, and then when you do a survey again, then it doesn't there.
Okay.
So those are the challenges we face. But we are also trying to make sure that recently we've had a meeting with Transport for London. And looking at opportunities they created, getting them to use our work path, which is a vehicle that we're using to help and support employment opportunities. So they're using work path to help them identify people for their jobs that they have vacancies for. So our officers are going outside the borough to create a linkage, which means that we become a brokerage to help our local people those opportunities, so that they're not just finding out later. When it's last moment, they're finding out before.
Sure.
So they're hosting the event where they recruit people, and so they know it before, and they could get trained and opportunities. So preparation.
Can I ask you something else? Obviously, it's a very good initiative, but in terms of our community, we have the younger generation. What are we doing to create opportunities for the younger people? The over 50s, and of course for the mothers and the sisters and women in particular.
No, so I think this is a very, very important point you raised, and one of the things, as I mentioned, the work path, which is based in South Bank Street, which is in just next to Poplar DLR. We've got a big office, a large team working to support people, particularly people who have been, who left their jobs because sometimes economic changes happens. And suddenly they find themselves unemployed because they've been working all their life. They need that support. So people who've been unemployed for more than 12 months, they get support through the work path, and we have schemes for over 50s as well, so people back to work and support. And they need that sort of, it's not just basically employment advice. They need that motivation, somebody to kind of hold their hands and link them up. In terms of, I think recently we've launched, when I became lead member, the mayor, as you know, in his manifesto, he said that he wants to create opportunities for employment of over the period of his term, 5,000 people into jobs and skills in the borough through a partnership with our partners, NHS and others. But also in terms of the young people, he's basically committed to creating 1,000 apprenticeship opportunities. These are paid employment opportunities,
yes, of course,
for young people. So as part of his strategy, he's also has created a young mayoral advisor for young people. This has never been the case because he feels that young people, if we do not create the opportunities for young people, then there is a huge danger for us.
Yes, of course.
So we've created an opportunity, opened up a young work path in Watney Market. I don't know if you know that there's a big 2 units have been created and refurbished for supporting young people into the apprenticeship in terms of employment.
This is in Watney Market,
yeah,
yes?
at the centre.
We have another caller. Let's just
Okay.
take another call. Hello, caller. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening.
Assalamu alaikum.
Ji.
Boysa bala sunne.
Ji bhai, bala khair matra bhaiya.
Boysa ami tor amra sunne matiya.
Ji.
Schedule to ne. আমি মতে জামাই ভাইরা একটা কোয়েশ্চন করতাম ভাইয়া
জি হোক ভাইয়া
আমরা শেডুয়েল এরিয়ার যে দুজন কাউন্সিলর আছেন আমি একজন মার্কেট ট্রেডার আমি জানতাম তো यार আমরা হোয়াইটনি মার্কেটও ডেভেলপ কিতা করব সব আমরা বিজনেস করতাম পারি না আমরা মার্কেটের কোনো লাইট নাই আমরা বিজনেস করতাম পারি না আমরা কোনো টয়লেট নাই আমরা সো মেনি টাইমস অন কমপ্লেইন করি यार এটার কোনো ডেভেলপ নাই ভাইয়া
Thank you ভাইয়া আপনি কল করার লাগি রাইট Watney Market.
Okay.
He is one of the traders. Is saying that there's no lack of lighting, lack of toilet, well facilities. They're suffering as a trader. Is there any plan to develop Watney Market?
Oh, no, absolutely. Thank you so much by recall দেওয়ার জন্য, and I think rightfully যে আমরাও চাইলাম যে মানুষের the create opportunities মানে যে business like করতে হলে we have to create the environment for them to do it. And rightly, because আমি বেশি দূর থাকি না, and the first thing I did as part of my মানে যে portfolio আমি যে area দায়িত্ব আছে এটার জিনিস জানার লাগি I have visited most of the markets in the borough.
আপনার ঘর থেকে এটা মারলে Watney Market
So আমি জানি এখন যেহেতু
তারা দাবিটা বেশি
আমি যাইতে হয় পাস and DLR ওটা যদি টাউন হলে যাইতে হয় you have to go through Watney Market.
Yes, of course.
And by I mean the first thing I did is do a tour of all the markets, and I visited Watney Market, and I recognized first of all the paving stones. You know, see the pavings were up uneven, were ups and downs, and the health risk to our people, and particularly parents and children going there. We also spoke to some of the traders. I spoke to some of the traders in Watney Market, and they raised these issues, same issues like no access to the toilet facilities or indeed.
So what are you doing to address those issues?
No, absolutely. Following my visit, we've created an action plan for some works to be undertaken, and my understanding is that those works have been completed. So the paving of the market, some of the unevenness has been sorted. I understand the painting in the car park was dull. It was dark, and so the painting has happened. So
so they made it a lot more brighter. Okay. What about the lighting? Have they changed the lighting, or
I come to the lights. Obviously, there's the New Year's lights been up. Our Christmas lights were up. But I think in terms of the toilet, because of people leave it open and got damaged and stuff, the refurbishment has been completed. I think my last conversation with officers was that how are they going to give their keys, and there was going to be some sort of an agreement with the traders to be able to sign an agreement to say that they will be responsible for locking it and stuff. So we need to find a way in which the doors, the toilets are not left open, so that the damage doesn't happen.
Yes.
And I think some people have to take responsibility. এখন যদি কাউন্সিলে খরচ হইরা এটা ঠিক করিল, এর বাদে যদি দেখা যায় যে নেগলিজেন্সের লাগি এটার মেইনটেনেন্স না ভাঙ্গিয়া ফেলাই দেন এটা করিলে,
so people need to take ownership.
So there will be some ownership and insurance দেওয়ার লাগি. So there will be signing something. So we market traders, we collectively take responsibility for our using that toilet, because they'll be responsible for it. And if there's anything else that happens which is not part of that, because but paperwork, if they sign those, then the keys will be handed over.
So the problem that was raised by the caller, the trader, has been addressed in as far as you know, and very soon they'll be expected to sign an agreement to take ownership of maintaining the toilets and the welfare facilities that will be provided.
Yes, I think
So, Kola, I
so,
hope.
so that's the idea. But in terms of lighting, jeta hoise, I think I wasn't made aware of the lights, and I'm happy to take that away, Baya, and check what because I think you may have raised, somebody must have raised this with one of the offices, but I think it is a different
stop because we need to go on a short break.
Okay.
সম্মানিত দর্শক, আপনারা কেউ কোথায় যাবেন না, আমাদের সাথে থাকুন। আমরা ছোট্ট একটা বিজ্ঞাপন বিরতিতে যাচ্ছি, এরপরে আমরা আবার আসতেছি। ধন্যবাদ।